back on the Maverick. David apparently had family in town, so he is skipping out on working on this with me, which is lame. I told him to bring his family, but he was like, no, they want to visit or something. Whatever. I mean, fair enough. But gonna get back under here and get some more of the steering stuff done on the Maverick, and yeah, get it progressed. I also need to get going up here on the engine stuff and do a little sprucing up, I guess. I'm not sure if I really want to, how much I want to spruce versus just drive it and see how it does when it gets woken up a little bit, because I think it's been sitting. It was sitting for a good while, it seems. So I think it might just need to get driven more, and then it'll be happier. But we'll see how that goes. Also a little low on coolant, but I think these straight sixes are pretty sturdy. So I don't know. I mean, probably it makes sense to do spark plugs and the coil and the wires and all that stuff, but it runs. So I don't know. I'm less concerned about getting that stuff and just kind of seeing what breaks or what seems not good once I start actually driving it. Alright, now that's on to match the other side. Shiny new bits. Which took way longer than it should have, because this castle nut with the cotter pin was fighting me, because the way that those work is that you have this castle nut, which looks like castle, and has little holes that go through, and then you thread it down onto a bolt thingy with a hole in it until the castle parts get down and line up with the holes, and then once it's down far enough, you can stick a pin through it between the little castle things, and then it can't back out. Easy peasy. It's a cool concept, because then you don't have to torque it down super tight. I think the point of that is for these, because you don't want to torque them super tight, because then they'll bind up in the joint. But then it was basically doing what this is doing. We're just getting stuck and it won't go all the way through. So I had to push it through. But I got it in. It's good to go. Alright, so I also have the control arm here on the bottom, and then the upper control arm, also known as often called a wishbone, up at the top there. I'm gonna do this bottom control arm because it looks easier, and figure out what parts that needs, because I have this is the main big piece, but then I also have these other parts bits which go to something. I think these ones go in here or something, or actually I think these ones maybe do something with the shock. So there's this mount for the shock tower. That brass might go in there. I'm not exactly sure. I think I need to pull it apart and just see what I got. But I'm a little scared to do that, because I don't exactly know how these work, but I think it'll be fine. We'll see how it goes. But I'm going to rip into taking off the bottom control arm first and see what I have and what parts I'm missing when I do that. Alright, so I just got the sway bar disconnected here with some Ugga juice, which made, it's not very hot, but got it off. And then I just was pulling it up and I was like, oh, wait a second, this little sleeve on here looks real familiar. And that is what this is. So that's the sway bar bushings and bolt drop guy. So that's cool. So that explains what that is. which is handy dandy. So that's nice. So one more thing pieced together, and that'll be great because then the sway bars should feel better. Because then the only thing that I'm not replacing then is maybe these, but actually these top bits. But now that I say that, I do have a rubbery bit that might go for that. It's either for that or it's for the bump stop up above. But more things. And the last guy who put these bottom bolts on really didn't want them to come off. That blue paint looking stuff, I think is blue Loctite, which that's a lot of it. Usually you put, you put a bit on there, but that is fully coated. That's impressive. Ah, lose my light. But I got that ball joint out, and then that bolt with the kind of oblong looking washer is your adjuster for I don't know, caster, camber, one of those things. It makes your wheel bottom kick in or out. So I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to verify that. Maybe I'll just paint it. Maybe I'll paint. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. I'll mark it with paint and line it back up as close as I can. And yeah, see how far off I am on that part of the alignment when I'm done. Okay, there's my video evidence of some paint marks that I made for my own sake to see how it works out. It's kind of fun because you can tighten or loosen this, and you can see the whole arm moves out as it rotates on that eccentric little guy. Moving back in. The whole arm moves back in. I don't know if that's showing up on the camera, but I can see it very clearly, which is kind of cool. So I think I just need to wobble that out, and then that'll frame me up. Aha. And we're free. Man, this new one is, well, seems substantially beefier than the old one, but also, I mean, just this goopy gray grease, it's just so sad. So the nice shiny new guy's gonna be a huge improvement. All right, so my paint marks, it's the new arm back in halfway. Shiny black, so nice and clean. And my paint marks are right about where they were, so I think I'm gonna try to snug the bolt back down and see if I keep it aligned like that. It's easy enough. I gotta force those back in. They were kind of trying to get out. The blue ones need to go back through their holes down below. And then, yeah, good to go. I guess I will follow suit with whoever last did this and put maybe not as much thread lock, blue thread lock on here, but I guess I'll give it a douse anyway, just for good measure. I mean, suspension parts do kind of make sense. They're moving a lot, and the thread lock has locked itself down, which is not useful. But putting a little thread lock on these makes sense, I guess. It just is so extreme how much they put on there. But got that all back together, and we'll almost done with this arm, and then might call it a night. All right, I got these bottom bolts sucked back in because they were kind of a tapered thing that gets wedged in there. So I got those sucked down with some blue Loctite. Got the castle nut on the ball joint back here. The main ball joint of this whole arm. See it up there maybe? There. And then I think I'm gonna put the sway bar back in, the new one. Shiny guy, sway bar bushing. And then this side will be, the bottom part of this side will be done. Other than this brace thingy that bolts up to the frame to stabilize the steering, I think. I'm not exactly sure what that's called. And then the upper wishbone up there, which you can see is all gloopy and sad looking. So, yeah, good progress, I think. Alright, so got this on here, got the fresh new rubbery bits. Got, top of the bolt, bushing, metal blocker thingy, rubber to isolate between the sway bar end here, and then this drop sleeve thingy, which lets it still slide but then stiff, and then another rubbery bit between the control arm and then rubbery bit on the bottom that you can definitely see with my light, and then nut stuck it up. I did forget at first because that hole that this is going into is too big. Keep blocking my light. And so then there's one of these collar things, but there's two of these collar things, which the one slips in nicely and then it sits all the way through to neck the size down. So I'm not really sure why there's two of them. This maybe is supposed to go somewhere else, but I wasn't sure where. So I have an extra, and hopefully I won't come to regret that. But yeah. Anyway, these rubber bits apparently are now covered up, but made in the USA. So that's great. Good old Ford, good old American-made, new shiny parts. All right, and I think I'm gonna call it a night. Now that I'm done, I just realized that I never put my coveralls on, which makes a lot of sense why I was rolling over my shirt tail on the creeper a bunch. Guess they are useful. Big brain.